All right, we are live here at the lunch break. Wednesday, hump day here at FNGO. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I see you out there, Casey Weaver, already in the comment section on YouTube. Hope your guys, hope the day is going well for you. So, one of them days, middle of the week, got the weekend in sight, and we are headed downhill, so to speak. So, got a lot that we can talk about today. I want to go ahead and put it out there for everybody to remember the Toys for Tots, December 6th. Going to be a lot more information on that coming out soon on how to sign up and take part in that event. If you are on TikTok, hey, again, last night we found out we had a broke camera mic cable. So you go and buy the camera's microphone. So hopefully it is loud enough for you guys. What's up, Doug Rice? Happy hump day to you, buddy. And I tell you what, lots going on. Did you guys... have you guys seen the video of Gerald Swindle and Watson and all that with that fella down there in Florida, I think, or where it was at? What's up, Houston? The cerebral tackle. I know that man, I mean, he knows that information, the Freedom of Information Act or whatever. He's got the body cam footage from the cops out there. You should go watch it. It's pretty interesting. I actually just finished watching it before we came on. And it was one of those situations that looked like it could have been avoided. What's up, Coleman? But definitely interesting to watch the way the effects of alcohol are on some people. And if you watch the video, you'll totally understand what I'm saying by that. A couple of them fellas definitely did not need, or at least one, should have kind of stopped when he was ahead. You know, what's up, Doc Holiday, Tyler, Messick, all you guys. And I got one more question. Now, I'm trying to watch this video, and you guys know how I think. I'm a little bit different. But I'm watching this Gerald Swindle sitting there, and he's got blood coming from his eye where he got popped, the glasses. The assailant is down on the ground. What's up, Steven? And he's got sand all over him. People giving witness statements and all that. Lulu's there. It's the whole shebang. Just like everybody said it is. But I couldn't help but notice, I'm like, why does Gerald Swindle shave his entire body? I mean, I'm sorry. I couldn't help but I'm like, is it for aerodynamics? I mean, what is the reason? When you're our age, why are we shaving things? I don't know. Just what I took out of it. I was like, that wouldn't be me. But you guys go watch that video. But I was sitting there, I seriously was watching. I'm like, okay, interesting. And kudos to Cerebral. A lot of people don't like him. I get along well with him. But still, makes him more aerodynamic in the Phoenix. And what's up, Fred Ashcraft? I got questions. I just want to know. Let me be honest. One time, what's up, Cam? Ain't seen you in a while. Atlanta Safe House, how you doing over there on TikTok? So one time, what's going on? I got the camera right in front of the comments, so I'm going to have to pay attention. Where did you see that video? Find that video. Go to Cerebral Tackle on YouTube. Cerebral Tackle. And watch it. But, I shouldn't have even worried about that. But one time, I don't know, I guess I was in my 30s. I got the crazy idea of just shaving my chest one time. Let's see what the wife thinks about it. Okay, that was back when I was not quite as chubby as I am now. I had a little bit of tone in the body, still left over from my high school days and my 20s when I was a young buck. And so I did it. I walked in the bedroom and my wife busted out laughing. She said, "You look like you're 13 years old." So that was the last and only time I've ever decided to shave any part of my body other than my face. Well, with the exception of my Johnson down there because I had to get a vasectomy. Which that's a story in and of itself. We'll talk about that on the pay-per-view episode. But still, I just saw that. I'm like, Gerald, why are you doing that? And maybe he's got a good reason. I don't know. Maybe Lulu likes it. So anyway, what's going on, everybody? Last night, G-Man likes to be smooth, I guess. He was smooth, all right. He was smooth, but it is what it is. So I just kind of got tickled watching it, But, hey, listen, in all honesty, him and James Watson did the right thing. What you're trying to say is I can get a few more miles an hour in my boat if I shave all over. I guess so. I mean, that's what the swimmers do, right? It's just G-Man style, Jeremy said. How do you develop that style, though, Jeremy? And don't get me wrong, I like him. So I'm not making fun of him. I'm like, I just wonder what's up. What's he thinking by doing that? And again, maybe Lulu said do it. I don't know. And if my wife said do it, I'd do it. Again, I'd look like a little fat 13-year-old, but I would do it. Anybody know if you wake up in the morning? Oh my goodness. Coleman wants to know. This is not me. This is the people I hang around. Anybody know if you wake up with morning wood after coming out of anesthesia? Probably so, man. Probably so. I've been under a few times. I never asked that question. But Coleman wants to know, are you worried, Coleman? Is that what you're worried about? That might happen to you? What's up, Farmer? And Atlanta Outdoors. G-Man always seems like a good dude. And I agree with that. And listen, hey, Coleman, Doug Hancock says, I never have. So there you go. Doc Holliday says, nope. So, scare the surgeons with that secret poll there. I guess so. I don't know. And Farmer says no. So maybe you don't worry about it, Coleman. You got things, Oh, well, hold on a second. We got Dead Rabbit. He goes, I have several times, Coleman. Every time I woke up after I got up and felt like nothing changed, nurses always chase me down because they think I'll fall. I've been put under a few times. Okay, y'all making me feel better. Why are you worried, Coleman? Yeah, but I like that. Now, Coleman, I had my wisdom teeth removed and it never happened, and I had a smoking nurse. Messick said. And but Dead Rabbit said the colonoscopy, when he had the colonoscopy, he did not have that problem. I would be alarmed if you woke up with some of that after a colonoscopy. True. I understand what you guys are thinking right there. I've had 2 back surgeries and tried to get a little in the recovery room both times. And that's what Tim Hancock says. You should worry more about what you might say. Just like if you do, Coleman, they won't be worried about you falling down as bad. And Coleman said, I'm worried they'll be laughing too hard to take proper care of me. And hey, listen, I am sure they have seen worse than that, okay? My daughter, who's a nurse, had to spend some time in college. I think it was college, when they have to kind of go out and do that, what do you want to say, the testing kind of thing, or they're trying to get their hours up or whatever it is. And she had to work in a nursing home. And all I'm going to tell you is the stories I heard about old men in nursing homes and things that my daughter's seen there. You waking up with a chub from knee surgery is not going to affect them at all. Okay. They have seen it all. Yeah. Tell them, the nursing doctors have seen it all. And James Ramsey, it took 21 something to win that tournament. Nursing homes are insane. NB Hensley, that video has too much going on for me. Hey, listen, there's a lot going on. And he actually said that whole entire video was over an hour long, and he actually had to edit it down to that. Steven said the discussion went down a rabbit hole in a hurry. No, we're not going to go too crazy with it. But them geezers get it going on in nursing homes. They do. They better hope I never get there. That's all I got to say. Because the party will be there if I show up. It'll be a short party, but the party will be there. But anyway, couple things. Like last night, oh gosh, hold on a second. Coleman, the knee might not be the only thing getting replaced, buddy. Hey, listen. You do what you got to do, right? And Dead Rabbit said, weird thing, I was getting my ankle re-broke and reset. I woke up with a rager. Don't ask me how that's possible. Tim Hancock said, my grandpa got kicked out of 2 nursing homes for being a little too frisky. Coleman, you did throw this thing off the rails. Off the rails from the get-go. Nursing homes or something else. Absolutely. So anyway, you guys can keep talking about Coleman's chub if you want to. We're going to talk a little fishing. Last night we had a very good episode of the Livewell. A lot of people were watching. A lot of people got a lot out of it from what I've heard. We're talking about being more versatile. And, John shared his kind of, being in that tournament and having to go out deep and feeling uncomfortable. And we all kind of shared a little bit. And speaking of false fall, it's going to be 90 degrees this week. You guys go back two weeks ago, and I told you, and when it was 70 degrees and everybody was, oh, this is nice and all that the weekend that deer season opened up, it was going to be back in the 90s. Now, who called it? You know why? Because I'm interested in going bow hunting this year. I hadn't done it so much in the last couple of years. I was interested in it, but I told you guys it would be 90 degrees. And sure as you know what, it's going to be hot. Just called it. I just know that's my luck right there. But anyway, yeah, last night's show was great. And there was a couple of things that I want to talk about the show. But there was also one thing that popped into my mind too. And it's kind of, if you read what I was going to talk about today, we were going to talk about the show. And then I was going to ask you guys about the impact that you are having with your life to others. Deer's already hitting the ground in Kentucky. Sure. How's your trail camera pictures going? Any big bucks in the city? No, a lot of does and small bucks. The weather does this every year with no fail for sure. Might be a false fall, but Saturday and Sunday will be a real summer. Yeah, for sure. But I was wondering what the impact is. Oh, and then let me get, what's up, John? Tim says, stuff like this is all the more reason to keep detailed records. You can go back decades and see the weather patterns and effects on fishing and hunting too. Sure. And there's still 11 days of summer for sure. But last night, there's a lot of things going on in my life. And people that I know, not necessarily with me, but people that I know. But last night I was sitting here and Clint was answering. He was giving one of his, we like to tease him, his 5-minute answers for a 1-minute question. But I love Clint, and he does give good information, but I get tickled at him. But I looked up, and there was 122 people watching. And I don't know why it crossed my mind, but it did. I know it looks like I'm taking part in the conversation sometimes. I know it looks like I'm intent, but, my mind is all over the place. But when I looked up and I saw that, I was like, I wonder what impact this show will have on those 120-something people that are watching. Which then led my mind to think for the rest of the show, even though you couldn't tell it, I got to thinking, what kind of impact do we here at FNGO have on the people that watch us and out in the fishing industry? Which then led me home to think, I wonder what kind of impact I have personally on the people that follow me. And then, of course, I filtered it on down to my family and everything. One of the reasons, too, you guys heard me talk about Harmon, LJ. He just had triple bypass surgery. And I got to think, and he made it through. I talked to Corey this morning. He's a little grumpy, but they're making him walk, having to do things like that. And I got to thinking, I'm very glad LJ and I mended the fences from stuff from the past and all that, and we're on good terms now. But I got to thinking, what if LJ hadn't made it through that surgery? What would be his lasting impact on the fishing industry around here in Georgia, in the Lake Lanier area? And, of course, with his wife and son and all that. But I was thinking about the fishing impact, and then I got to thinking about all the people here that do social media. And there's several of you guys up there that have your own channel. Have you ever stopped to think about the impact that you have? Have you ever stopped to think about the impact that you have, positive or negative? I'm not just talking about what is your impact. And Tyler, if you want to know what happened to Crank, and his father passed away, 81 years old, passed away. His, I think he said in a couple of weeks or something like that, his mom and his dad would have been married 63 years. So he's dealing with the father's death, which also crossed my mind last night. And I didn't go home and was like in this morbid kind of mood. I was just kind of thinking, I was trying to think positive. And there are times when we get a little negative on this channel. I try to steer clear of that. I even told the guys the other day I felt really bad about losing my cool last week on the show. But those are few and far between. But I got thinking, what's your impact? What is your impact on people? And now, if for some reason, God forbid, I leave and head home tonight, and I get attacked by a crazed armadillo or whatever, and I'm not here tomorrow, did I leave a positive impact with the people that watch us? What would they say about me when I die? Or when I'm gone like that? And so, I was thinking about that. And then I was thinking about all you guys that got, they got social media or that fish tournaments, and you're around guys all the time. And so I'm serious. It was just something that crossed my mind. And I don't know how many of you guys have ever stopped to think about that. And you see all the videos about, your birth date on your gravestone, your birth date, your death date, and that dash in between is all the stuff. And that's all true. And I'm just trying to think, it's kind of like that, but in our industry, it's kind of what I was thinking, like, what are we doing to better the fishing industry? What are we doing to help the next guy learns something? What are we doing to instill a little joy in the tug of a rod on, of a fish on the end of your line on a rod? And I think for the most part, a lot of us here are doing a pretty good job. Absolutely. I mean, you guys in the comment section, I see what you guys are saying. We want to build a community here. Well, if it's an FNGO community, well, how is our community? Our community, how is it impacting the fishing world? Because the reality is, John said it last night, right after the show. And, we ended the show with Cranking and Yanking's dad, kind of pretty much talking about that a little bit. But before the show, I told John this. We were talking about this community. And I said, you know what? I said, I love it. And I tease, and I always say it's almost like a cult. That we have like this cult following of guys that I know, no matter what, they're going to show up every time and they're going to participate. And it's, not real cult, but you know what I'm saying. And then after the show, John made a comment because of the way you guys in the comment section just absolutely, what's up, Hogan? You guys in the comment section just absolutely stepped up your empathy and everything for Cranking and Yanking. And it was a very positive thing. And the second, I'll tell you guys the truth, the second that they hit the end button on it and it goes to end, sometimes we get in trouble by what we say and the mics aren't off. But the second that it ended, the mics were off. I'm not going to lie to you. I looked at John. I said, I love that shit. I love when you guys get involved like that. Because I guarantee you this, Cranking and Yanking he needed to be loved on a little bit. Okay? When guys type stuff like that, they need it. We always tell guys, hey, put it out there. And he said, I've been dealing with this. And you guys responded. And I looked at John and I'm like, I love that. I absolutely love it. Made me feel so good. And John kind of replied, and this ain't word for word, but he was like, yeah, it's that cult-like following that we have here. And I said, yeah, it is. So thank you guys for doing that. But so I think we helped out Cranking and Yanking last night. And I think what we did was, that's a positive thing we do for the fishing community. I'm just going to read one quote and said, the biggest thing you guys do is more important than just fishing. You're creating and bringing together a culture of individuals who can have like-minded, cordial conversations, even if you don't agree. Yeah, as long as you don't make fun of poor people, I'm good. You know what I mean? As long as you don't do that, I'm good. But I do. But I want to, I guess when I was thinking of all this and just, my ugly mug is, let me put it this way. Fish North Georgia is just so much bigger. FNGO is so much bigger than this ugly mug right here who doesn't shut up. Even though it's my ugly mug that's getting thrown across the country on socials and all that. It's like, you guys are it. That's what I was thinking last night. What's up, Pontoon Jody, Cletus? Yeah, that sends me off the rails. Don't do that. But you guys are FNGO, man. And that's why I was like thinking of our impact. What can this community, these guys, you guys that listen to me talk every day at lunch for no particular reason. I don't know why you guys are here. Or that you watch the live ones, or that you come into the store and everything. Well, what can we do? And this is, I know we like to tease and we have our debates on all sorts of things and all that, but like, seriously, what can we do? What's up, Gone Fishing with Ed and Tracy Coker? It's like these names that pop up every day. I'm like, I know they're coming. Can't explain why, but I know you guys are coming. And I was just thinking, like, you guys are it. It's so much bigger than me and Josh and what we're trying. You guys are it. And so I really want us, when you guys stepped up for Cranking and Yanking last night, man, I'm telling you, I had more pride going on in my heart just watching you guys do that. Because the reason I joined is because of your great attitude towards others and wanting to spread your knowledge. Dude, I ain't got no knowledge. It's y'all's knowledge. That's what I'm saying. You guys are FNGO. I know just enough to be dangerous. I love I shouldn't have put that camera right there. I'm going to have to start reading my TikTok comments here. I love the conversation that happens on here, and the people are pretty cool. Yeah, you guys are pretty cool. You guys are pretty cool. Jeremy says, I work by myself with just a couple of guys and have a very small circle, so it's a fun place to hang out every day. I'm glad we provide that. Aaron, which now we're linked buddies. I didn't even know that was a thing, but there we go. You guys are going to teach me linked. It's incredible how quickly this community will help a fellow man out as well. That's the whole other topic. It's a whole other topic other than just watching and texting. Yeah, for sure. That's what we do. Just a big family with an awesome passion for fishing. Yeah. John said, we're the effing family. That's right. We might argue and fight, but we all care about each other. And I am not the ultimate messenger with a heart bigger than his appetite. You had to throw a fat joke in there, Clint. Oh, Clint's the only person I know that can compliment me and insult me in the same sentence. But I appreciate it. You know I love you, kid. Tyler says, my circle was never huge, but it shrunk after high school, and a lot of my buddies went off to school in other places. This place is a community for me, and my buddy has to be, and my buddy to be a part of it. Oh, we're your buddy too. Sometimes I read too fast. It is awesome. But I just want you guys to think about that. I want you to give some serious consideration on, first of all, when people are in need, bring it up. Bring it up. We'll help them out. But I want you to consider that others are watching you too. And like even in the comment section, I will tell you this. You don't realize the impact that you have, positive or negative, even when you don't even think you're having one. And sometimes we have to learn from that. Like, I mean, just to be transparent, and we won't name names, Clint will know. You guys saw a situation last week, but what you didn't see is some of the stuff that I said had a negative impact on somebody else. And we won't get into it because then it will absolutely just show the individual that was upset a little bit with some of the stuff I said. And we had to actually own up to it. And so sometimes we don't think about what we say in the moment of something, and we didn't mean to negatively impact that situation, but we did. And then we tried to, course correct it and fix the situation. So we have to be willing to do that too. But everything you guys do, whether you're on social media, you're on this show or whatever, it impacts somebody some way, somehow. And so I want, when you guys were doing that last night, I was like, man, boy, you guys impacted an individual that lives 4 or 5 states away just by your kindness. And I thought that was really, really cool. Hogan used me as an example. Yeah, Hogan, we had to work with Hogan on how to talk on social media, but we did, I did it lovingly, like that. Owning up to something you did to upset someone is called being a man. I don't know if maybe, but we did need more of that. You got to be willing to say you're sorry when you screw up. But see, even that, like I had no idea, no clue at the given time that the words that were coming out of my mouth in the context of a podcast affected somebody. So I'm like really trying to be cognizant of what I'm saying and all that. I want this FNGO family to absolutely just blossom. And all you guys, I want all your channels to grow. I want you guys to learn, catch more fish, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day. Colton, Danny, after September the 18th, we are changing everything on my channel to a full production and would love to have you on the show one day. I do. Yeah. I don't know what I would have to offer other than some good comedy and good looks, but I would be there. Absolutely. This podcast is a positive show, and the folks on here feel like family. That's what I like to hear. Not just us, but you guys in the comment section. I like how everyone on here treats each other with respect. It's rare. Don't hats off to us, and then don't thank me. It's all you guys. I tell everybody that the show's only as good as the guests and you guys. That's what makes our podcast different. If y'all had to tune in every day to hear me talk about fishing, y'all wouldn't do it. I don't have that much to offer. Boy, I wish, seriously, putting that camera there was awful, Danny. Always good to take a step back and look what you say and what it can do to others. Yeah, for sure. But Hogan, even though you brought it up, even though your situation was a negative, you can change it to a positive. That is entirely up to you. 100%. And I would encourage you to do it positively. I think you can do that. What's up, Tony? Just catch some fish and talk easy peasy. We can do that. Oh, you want me there? Yeah, I'll do that. A like-minded group of people who value and care about the same sport and the issues that surrounding it. Pontoon Jody, I love it when I see you in the comments. We got to get more women involved in this too. Y'all fish. I think sometimes us guys in our conversations, we might scare some people off. Might scare some women off thinking that they wouldn't be welcomed here. Absolutely. Because I guarantee there's a lot of them out there that can fish. And I mean that are hammers. They're out there, but I appreciate you more than you know. I enjoy that we can interact with you live. No other podcast does that. That's why and again, that's all about you guys. And Farmer's talking about how, we're willing to help somebody up and give the shirt off the back. You guys are willing to do that. Jeff Brazil says, I don't even know how I stumbled onto this podcast, but I'm glad I did. I really enjoy it. Well, we enjoy you being here too. This is pretty much the only show that focuses on local lakes that I know about with top-notch guests. That's it. Loads of great information. It's pretty good entertainment. I listen to a ton of YouTube while driving. I usually won't watch at night because you gotta get up early. Listen. Yeah, that's what it's about. It is. That's how it started too. A young guy that I fished with 40 years ago popped up and replied to my post about my logs that I keep. He said, I trained him well. He keeps them now. That made me feel pretty good. See, Tim, that is a positive influence on somebody. Now you haven't influenced me to pick up a pen yet and start writing down. But I do appreciate what you do. I do appreciate everything that you do and the times you've been on. Once your knee gets better, I got to get you back on here. I've actually had people asking. It all started, let's see this. It all started for me posting on Monday's brag board on Facebook, then led to this podcast. Hey, listen, the brag board's pretty cool. You guys that actually get to go fish. I enjoy seeing what you guys catch. And I tell people, hey, you want to see what people are doing? Follow the group page. Follow the group page and see the pictures that they're putting on there. But Farmer, the privilege is all mine. Probably got to cut out the yum talk. Nah, I don't know. We have Big Long Johns. We've cut it down. I'm trying to be a better man as I get older. My wife, I'll go home after one of them episodes and my wife goes, I can't believe you were talking about that. And I'm like, what? It's a bunch of guys. It's a bunch of dudes. What do you think we talked about? Man, I promise you, my wife goes, you could have talked to him about Jesus. And I'm like, yeah, I guess you're right. But we talked about boobs. I'm sorry and I have to look here like, my bad, And then I'll be honest, some people from church watch this thing from time to time, and that's why I'm known as the heathen. Anyway, I just want you guys to stay positive and take into account how many people you actually really do affect. Okay. Did your stash fall off? No, I'm not even going to answer that question. I wanted to look younger. I got tired because as you get older, hair starts coming out of your ears. It starts coming out of your eyebrows. Next thing you know, you got a 3-inch eyelash, whatever the heck it is, hanging off. But these top few hairs, they start turning upwards and they go into my nose. And I'm sitting there doing this the whole time. Can't handle it. So I asked my wife, and I did ask my wife, you look like a wrestler, Danny. Good Lord. Somebody told me I look like James Watson, and I'm like, But anyway, I want you guys to consider that, though. I want you to be positive, bring people over into this community, but, be willing to go out into theirs and help them out. I think most of y'all being heathens is part of the appeal of this show. Got to meet people where they're at, man. I love the community. All this. I say pontoon. This makes me feel good. I've always felt welcome here, and I appreciate how I'm just an angler here, not defined by gender, but by ability. Damn right, sister. Absolutely. People need to stop being offended all the time. It's life. Deal with it. Be an adult. That's true. That's true. Hogan said, I helped a kid at my work yesterday off my lessons with anger. Good. He lost his cool with a different company and said some stuff. I showed him stuff happens, and when you show you're mad, that others get mad, so I helped him out to control it and do better. Well, that's good. You're taking that negative and turning it into a positive. That's what you need to do, kid. Maybe James Watson's grandpa. Jeremy, do I look that old? Danny looks like he could be in Limp Biscuit. Limp Biscuit. I mean, in a good way. It's just one of those days. You know what I mean? Hey, I got something interesting. I don't know if you guys notice this too. And we'll get back on the fishing stuff. You guys just be positive out there. Love each other and be positive. Build this community up. Now, we know Bassmaster, what they did, right? With the coin flip, all the sonars. But yesterday I got home, and when I got home last night, my copy of Bassmaster magazine, yes, I get it. Sometimes I do read it. But it was on the table. My wife left it out for me, and I got to looking at it. Now, on the cover, why and how John Cox keeps it old school. Okay? Why and how John Cox keeps it old school. Okay, peg leg just got out of surgery and everything went on. Hey, man, that's good to hear, dude. Everything went good. 2 stents put in, but you're doing better. Man, I'm glad. Good to know that. Appreciate that. I wish you'd caught some fish on your toe, though. That would have been good. But do you think with that cover. Now, this cover had to be planned out. The old school thing. Do you think this is a kind of subliminal thing that they knew what they were going to do with the forward facing for a while now? To put this cover on, just, you know what I'm saying? To go with this old school. Just what do you guys think? When I saw that last night, that's what I saw. I said, well, that makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. Yes, they knew. That's what I'm saying. So, like, it's much more. Ooh, Tyler Shellnut. John Cox is a Randy B. plant in the industry. You think so? Interesting take. Interesting take by Tyler Shellnut out there. But what this tells me is not only they had to go do the article, they had to do all this. That was a decision that's been in the works for quite a while. Yes, I'm going down the conspiracy thing here. It is. I don't understand the waiting 10 years to ban something. I get that too. I get it. What's up, Far Dog? That's the first Bassmaster magazine I've seen in 20 years. Really? Now, listen, it's a good magazine. Now, it's heavy on the advertising. It is definitely heavy on the advertising. But still, there's some good stuff to be learning that. Yeah, they knew. It's all voted on it and takes months to get stuff in and down the line. This is what I would have put out in August, though. Now, September, I mean, I got it yesterday. This is after their thing. They're trying to rake back in some of the older crowd that still buy magazines and think a membership means something. Tony, are you calling me old? I think, Tony, you're calling me old with that. I don't even know when the last time I paid for this thing is, but I know I still get it. How much is a yearly subscription? I don't know. FNGO probably pays it. Heavy on the ads, no way. Just like the Bass. Heavy on their ads, no way. Just like the Bass Live. So I got to slow down and read some of this. Tony's got one too. I laughed after everything we talked about and everything. I got home, and that's the first thing I seen. I said John Cox, but I saw that old school right there. It's like Bassmaster. Like it is, you want to say conspiracies? This stuff has been like planned out, I guarantee you. So, okay, we're going to do this article here. We're going to kind of do everything and kind of bring it all together right about, I don't know, first, second week of September. What do you guys say? Everybody voted. All in favor, say aye. Certainly there'd be none opposed, just like at a Baptist church. You ever been to one of those? Somebody's joining the church. I heard that so many times growing up. All in favor, say aye. And you got all the old men, aye. And then the guy would say, he always would do this. Any opposed? And certainly there wouldn't be any. That's exactly what he says. Like if you were back there and you were going to oppose it, he's like, he said, no, we ain't letting that happen. Probably just waited that long after the bass fishing community mostly bought it before establishing any sort of restrictions that might impact Garmin or Humminbird's bottom lines. Well, that's a conspiracy theory right there. That might work. What's two out of the bike club that cut you with a joke today? I might even get in on it. I don't know yet. Oh, that is two. Yeah, I know you guys you're on me today. How is it old school when it's just fishing? Hey, I get it, Jeremy. I'll grab a subscription. That's not bad. I didn't even, $15. Okay, I seen that traveling fisherman set up there. For this, I wanted to make sure you guys could hear on that mic. So I stuck that camera right there, and it's right in the way of my comments on TikTok. If any opposed, we'll meet you out back. For sure. That's exactly what it is. Every time. Any opposed, and surely there'd be none. But I wonder how that vote goes down actually, I wonder who does the planning. Like seriously, we hear you better today than normally. Okay, well, that might have been that bad chord. Part of me feels bad for bass. There's literally no way to make everyone happy. Chris Johnson says that. That's true. That is true. And they know that. But I would love to see businesses other than us, because we're not big enough yet, but most of them will, put out a yearly plan for the following year, 2026. So I wonder in 2025, I wonder how early this plan came into their thoughts. You see what I'm saying? Like if you're trying to get sponsorship and stuff for a TV show or stuff, just things that I'm trying to do, companies set their budget for the following year in like October, November. So like they're setting their budgets real soon, and I'm trying to get in on them. But I wonder if Bass had been sitting on this and how long. You know what I'm saying? And I know they say these votes and all this stuff, but when you get behind closed doors, how long have they known that they were going to make that decision? It'd be real interesting to see. It'd be a good question. I'd like to talk to somebody just like, how long? Because I guarantee you ain't none of them going to say, well, we thought about it the third week of August. Nah, that's been going on longer than that. The question is, who are they making happy by banning it and why? I don't know. We talked about that. I don't know. Certainly people are happy. Certainly people are not happy. And I know that, what's crazy is they tried to do something to make everybody happy. And in doing something to make everybody happy, you still got guys that aren't happy that they didn't make just one side happier than the other. And then you got me and like, I really don't care. I really don't care. But yeah, they can't. But I'm more interested in like, how long has this been in place? How long have they been planning this? Was this something that they kind of, by the end of last year, not this season that happened this year, but by the end of last season, that they sat down and they looked at it and they're like, okay, let's get through the 2025 season and then announce it. Like, at what point did that, did they make that decision? I don't remember where it was, but I saw some companies, FFS, using drones to deer hunt. When you think about it, it's actually a good comparison. I definitely don't think you should be allowed to use them to hunt deer whatsoever. I think it's illegal in most states, if I'm not lying. A good schedule fixes the debate. No need to ban or limit technology. And that's what Clint said on the show that night. That's what Clint said. He said the schedule for 2025 did pretty much exactly what they were intending to do. I don't know why they kept going on, and a lot of people feel that way. I'm curious if Randy is going to cut back on that bashing now that they have banned it. No, he's not going to cut back on that till it is gone. That would be my guess. Or just talk about how it's not fully banned. Take a look at dual threat fishing schedule. They are wide open on the tech. BigDaddyTrump.org. Well, we'll look into that. Yeah, sure. Carson says you cannot use it to hunt anywhere in the state. That's right. I have a random question for you Southern boys. Who makes good plate boats down south? Plate boats? Plate? I don't even know what the hell that is. Bass is just trying to attract both audiences, people who like the new tech and those who don't, for sure. Seen on Matt Airy and Thrift's podcast. Again, Kyle Brown, you're cheating on me. I'm just playing. Where there was 2 votes, one for a change and one for a split or complete ban. 70% wanted a complete ban, according to him. I don't. Let me tell you something like this. All right, when you hear stuff like this, all I'm going to say is this. I know of guys who have put out polls that had pros, because you had to see them, you could see them on who vote in their polls. Now, they didn't go to all of them. And he didn't put it towards them. He put it out there, and some of the pros voted in it. And I want to say 40-something pros voted in this poll. Of those 40, only 2 or 3 were for a ban. If you take percentages of how many pros there are, and you look at that, and you just can kind of guesstimate based upon that given fact, then what Matt Airy and them said is not correct. And this is not a poll put out by Bass or anything. This is by an individual on his social media who shared that information with us. And I will not give you the name, and I won't do that to the individual. You should be following them anyway. But when I hear people say that, they voted for this, voted for that, whatever. Sometimes when you're in a room full of people, you know how, like, I don't want to say the peer pressure gets onto you or whatever, and you feel like you got to vote one way or the other. But this was just done, and they replied on their social media to this. 40-something to 3. Yeah, it was supposedly the Bass official poll. I got it. No, I'm serious. But and I saw that poll, Kyle. A lot of us have saw that poll. But when this gentleman did his poll and we heard that, it makes you kind of think again. And I'm not calling out Bass and saying theirs was wrong. Let's see. Garmin is fixing to shrink that 3-year deal with Bass. It could happen, Big Daddy Trump. But when you hear that, and here's another thing too. When you hear that and you see what we saw or was told what we were told, yeah, the gentleman who shall not be named and he will thank me for not naming him. But he did say I could say the poll because I did ask. Let's just put it this way. When you see that, and that ratio, at least on his poll, is so skewed. How many guys fish bass? 100, a little over 100? Let's just say even if it was 110. To be 70%, that's already done. You're already over the 70% threshold because more than 30% have voted they're not against it. Oh, it's going to, because I already know where the money is going to. Okay. Danny is on the inside juice. I don't have the inside juice. I just know a guy that ran a poll. And I just know that there were pros that responded to it. It is insane. That's a 90-10. Here's another thing. Now, you got to understand this. This happened with the NPFL poll and a poll that we did here at Fish North Georgia. Let's just use a poll we did here at Fish North Georgia. I put on there, how many of you guys are for banning live scope? I think it was in tournaments or banning live scope. No, I think that's what it was. I'd have to go back and look. 40% of the people, of the anglers said, this was in response to a Randy B video as well. 40% of the anglers said, or something like that. I'm just being general here. Didn't want no ban. 20% or 10, no, maybe 10% said they wanted a ban. The majority of people said they didn't care. It was something like that. You could take somebody who doesn't really want to give out the facts could take that poll, and because 40% didn't want to ban and 30% didn't care, they would tell you 70% of all anglers are not against forward-facing sonar. They can turn it. Same way, if you took the 10% that wanted a ban and you could add that 30% back, you could say 40% of all anglers want to ban it. And so, listen, that's when you hear polls like that and you hear percentages, sometimes I'd like to see the actual vote and see how it goes, just to keep that from happening. You see what I'm saying? Just to keep that from happening. The only reason the NPFL banned it is because they weren't getting any money, period, point blank. I don't know about the amount of money, but I do know that it was a business decision for sure. And that was the best business decision for their league. And what's up, Lily, the hammer? Good afternoon. But you see what I'm saying? You can take a poll. They do it on the news every night. I mean, that's honest. Like I wouldn't believe a poll on the news to save my life, because whatever your bias is, for or against something, you're going to skew that poll to fit your narrative. If you really want to see that poll, that bass, do you think guys in bass are afraid to speak out because they think bass will kick them off the trail? I don't know about kicking them off the trail, but I guarantee there's repercussions, right? Whether in front of everybody or behind the doors, there's got to be repercussions. That's what I think. Now, I mean, I don't know the inner workings of bass, but I tell you what I would like to see. If you're going to do a poll of every angler, put it out there, guys. Man up. Here's my vote. Put it out there to the public. Then you can see if the 70% was true. Right there, Kyle Brown. Make it public. And you know what? That ain't going to happen. But wouldn't that solve a bunch of problems? Wouldn't that solve a ton of problems and we wouldn't be out here speculating? Just lay it out there. It is what it is. Don't see that happening. But I'm always very wary of percentage-based polls and guys on their thumbnails that say 80% of all anglers or 65% do this wrong. And I'm like, how the hell 65% do it wrong? Sometimes I think they just make crap up because they want you to click. A live poll would work good that only allowed the anglers to vote in real time on social media. And I say, Big Daddy Trump, I agree with you. I'd like to see that. I think a lot of people would like to see that. Don't think it happened. Because I think there's a lot of guys that whichever side of the fence they fall on, they don't want you to know. Because if you don't know, then they ain't got to answer to it either way. You see what I'm saying? A lot of people don't want to be out there on how they voted. But to me, if you're fishing the highest, what many consider to be the highest of the highs of professional bass fishing, and there's only 0.000000001% of the world that gets to do what you're doing, throw it out there. Throw it out there and stand up on what you believe in. If you're for it, great. If you're against it, great. Throw it out there. They talk about getting fined for breaking some rules about being publicly negative towards Bass. And that's, listen, you know what? I kind of understand that to a point. Let's see. If you want to advance, that's how. If not, then it's a dying game to me. I get that. And that's 814 flying in time. Bass seems really shady with all this stuff. They just seem to be making decisions without angler input and then forcing the anglers to go along with it. But, you know, let's do it this way. I kind of understand the fine kind of thing, because every sport has that. In baseball, football, basketball, if you criticize a ref, those guys get fined. If you don't do your and I don't know who the hell pays it, but they get fined, you know. If you don't do your post-game press conference, you can get fined and all that. So companies outside of Bass do have fines for being negative and like that. I mean, guys, you know what? We've watched the game. Listen, let me read it. Tracy Coker says, "Oh, heck, just let them fish however they want. No TV coverage for a season. Only S media, certain media. Poor slick," Kyle Brown says. But you know what I'm saying? There's fines with everything. I don't fine nobody, but if one of the guys on the podcast went on another podcast and trashed us, I'd be pissed. You know what I'm saying? And I'd definitely tell them that, and I'd probably tell them if that's the way they feel, they couldn't be behind it. Every business is like that. My thoughts behind that in general stand behind pressure. It's a $3.4 billion business. Biggest hobby in the world, fishing is. Y'all see my head going back and forth trying to read around that camera? Bass has tried to be more like golf and forget it's 100 rednecks chasing fish. I guess at the end of the day, you're right. If anglers are truly confident in their ability, they should believe in themselves to beat the scopers by fishing up shallow or sight fishing instead of complaining, in my opinion. Well, yeah, but I didn't mean to make this into a forward-facing sonar debate, whether you're for or against it. I was just kind of bringing up, like, what goes on behind the scenes and how long they've known about it. But you guys have made some pretty good comments in there. You brought up a lot of stuff. There's some guys that are much more comfortable throwing out their opinions than others. We need Kyle Busch to start fishing. I'm not a Busch fan, dude. They've known 6 months minimum. Big Daddy Trump said, yeah, and they had to plan it for the right time. At the end of the day, Bass has shareholders to answer. It's all business for them. It's a corporation. Are we sure that it has shareholders? Because like Fish North Georgia is a corporation. It's just me and Josh. I mean, how many shareholders do they have? I get that. I just want to know how many shareholders and what kind of corporation it is. But if the anglers wanted to make a change, they should form a union if they don't listen to their feedback. A lot of guys have different opinions on unions. Some love them, some don't. It doesn't have shareholders. I didn't think so, Big Daddy Trump, but I didn't know. I haven't checked into it. Thought it was more on donations than anything. Maybe. I don't know how they make money. Surely it's not a nonprofit. I will never put that camera in that place. Chase's Media is a shareholder. Okay, you guys bringing Chase up. Are we doing football picks today? Dude, I totally forgot about the football thing. So much going on. A Kyle Busch post-fishing interview where he gets skunked would re-engage millions of viewers. That is one thing I do wish that they would do. And I ain't talking about fighting, but I'd like them to just let the anglers figure it out amongst themselves and just let them say what they want to say. I do that. Anderson Media Corp is the majority owner of Bass. Okay, see, like I said, I didn't know that, but is that Chase? Pretty much. Tennessee versus Georgia going to be big. It will be a big game. Of course, I'm a homer. I'm going to take Georgia. Maybe we'll do football picks tomorrow. It shouldn't matter at that level if you have it or not. If you can make it to that level, I think you can fish any way you need to catch them. I'm saying that even about the young ones as well, for sure. I would absolutely agree with that. Chase is the CEO. Okay, Lily the Hammer says there is so much personal bias in the FFS debate. It really makes it hard to listen to some people talk about it at times. It's why the convo goes nowhere. Either someone bought it or can't afford it. For sure, but ain't that like our society? Across the board. Like if you're a Democrat, you got to hate the Republican. The Republican has to hate the Democrat. They're both vying for the independent. You're either for forward facing or you're against forward facing. Those of us in the middle, they're vying for that. That's kind of like in everything. You know what I'm saying? The Baptist is against the Catholic, and the Pentecostal sitting there in the middle, and they're, you know what I'm saying? It's just that is everything. Even in diet. Okay? Eat this, eat that. I'm carnivore. That's not carnivore. We're all it's just everything. Like, I think the society as a whole has lost the ability to communicate. And it sure as hell has lost the ability to say, you know what? You're right. I'm wrong. Atlanta Outdoors, it's like folks arguing over religion to me at this point. Yeah, so that's what I brought. I didn't even see your comment when I said that about the Baptists and the Catholics and the Pentecostals. It is. And again, like I said, I didn't mean, see, what's funny is I had no intention of going down that debate. I was just wanting to know how long you think they had planned it. That's all I was thinking about today. But no matter what we do, and if you're a libertarian, you have to dislike the other two. It's all tribalism. Sure. We are a nation of tribes right now, for sure. But no matter what we do, we could have started talking about what's your favorite recipe for pancakes. And somehow, some way, we'd end up talking about forward-facing sonar. I don't know how the hell it happens, but it just happens. It just happens. So anyway, all right. We pretty much kind of went down that. The minority is always louder than the majority when it comes to stuff like this. Yeah, I would say that for sure. And it's like a Google review. You can have 5,000 people buy your stuff. The one that's going to leave a Google review is the one you pissed off. 100%. The one you pissed off or had a bad experience with, they're going to leave the review. Trust me, I know. I think sifting the dry ingredients makes the pancakes more fluffy, Big Long John said. That's because it's the hot topic of fishing these days. Very true, but I like pancakes better than the topic. Whatever my mom did when I was a kid with pancakes was amazing, Tyler Shellnut said. Listen, I'm all for good pancakes. I am not for chocolate chip pancakes that my daughter likes. Okay, I don't know. There's just some things shouldn't be in a pancake. I will tell you this, though. When I went to Amsterdam, well, I had a little layover in Amsterdam. We had an 8-hour layover, and so we went out into the city to go get breakfast. And there is a little pancake place right there at the red light district. And if you guys know what the red light district is, I don't have to explain it to you. If you don't know what it is, go watch the Van Halen video, Amsterdam. See, Amsterdam Red Light District. Just watch that video. It's a great song, one of my favorite songs, but just kind of watch where they're at in the video, and you will kind of understand that. And if you look very closely in that video, the pancake place, the little breakfast place, is on the corner of the street that they're walking down. I had these pancakes. First of all, I had the most amazing coffee I've ever had in my life. I don't know what it is about coffee in Amsterdam. Oh, my goodness. Like that right there. Danny eating the fun pancakes. No. Yeah, right? But I had pancakes with smoked salmon and something else on top of it. Something that you don't get at the Cracker Barrel or around here. Dude, it was amazing. Like, seriously, have you ever thought about salmon and on a pancake? And there was some other stuff in there too, but you had your pancake with the stuff in there, and they just had these strips of smoked salmon right across the top. And this damn highbrow coffee that was just, slap your mama good. It was amazing. Bologna gravy with loaf bread is a poor man's breakfast, but will make your tongue touch your brain if you put it on your head. Too good. I ain't had no bologna gravy in a while. Aaron wanted to know if it had capers in it. I don't remember, Aaron. I don't remember. I mean, and that coffee didn't have no liquor in it. But I really was enjoying that coffee. And I mean, when I go somewhere, that's the kind of food you eat when the salmon ain't the only thing smoked, Tony said. Pancakes, Amsterdam Central. That might have been it. I don't know, but it was amazing. I'll take biscuit over pancake any day of the week and twice on Sunday, Big Daddy Trump said. The coffee, guys. Like, I've had some good coffee. But I'm telling you what, I don't know what it was. I've never heard of bologna gravy, but that sounds good. Salmon and scrambled eggs are fire. I like oysters. I like smoked oysters and scrambled eggs. My wife hates the smell of smoked oysters, so I don't get to eat it very often. Blue and white building on the corner. So maybe that's it. Like I said, we were only there for 8 hours and got on the train from the airport, that little train thing that took us into downtown, got off, walked across the river, across the bridge over the river, and then it was in that area somewhere. Oh, my God, it was good. It was good. What non-sandwich meal are people here bringing to eat on the boat? Non-sandwich meal. And bologna is a poor man's steak. What non-sandwich meal are you guys bringing on the eat? Gosh, dog it. What non-sandwich meal are you people here bringing to eat on the boat? You know what I like to eat? You're going to think I'm gross. If I'm like low carbonate. Okay, hold on a second. Gone Fishing with Ed says, number 20, smoked salmon, spinach, cheese, and pesto. Is that what you've eaten, or are you trying to figure out what I ate? Because that sounds something like that. It was amazing. Big Daddy Trump says beef jerky. Tony says beef jerky and Red Bull, beef jerky and anything else my old lady grabs. Pop-Tarts and Ritz crackers, Doritos and pimento cheese dip. That sounds pretty good. Bucket of chicken, pizza in a Ziploc bag. A must is a big Reese's peanut butter cup. Summer sausage and crackers. My fishing breakfast is a QT sausage, egg, and cheese and a black monster. Well, you guys right there. Oh, it's on their website menu. That might have been it, dude. That really might have been it. It was good. It was good. I think if check that website too, do they have an American menu and then they might say American pancakes or American this, and then you got the other stuff? Because if it had like two different menus, yes, that's where I ate. Stand-up wieners, Viennas, and crackers. You guys are going to think I'm crazy. Now, I'll take the beef jerky. I'll take just about everything you guys said. But I love having a bottle of blue cheese stuffed olives. My mouth's watering just thinking about that. American and Dutch pancakes. That's it, dude. Unless there's multiple places that do that there. But I remember, specifically it had like American food and then Dutch food and all that. Because I had the Dutch coffee. That I know I had. Or something like that. Salmon patties on a biscuit for the win. Now, that I do love. Sardines and crackers. I eat sardines like crazy. Do any of y'all ever eat at the Big Reds, Biscuits, and Forsyth? Seems like I have before, but it's been a hot minute. Now, my grandpa has to have a Pepsi, honey bun, and peanut butter crackers. My brother brought tacos Saturday, and he had taters, green beans, and ham. Never witnessed anything like it. Had a spread on the boat. Like a Baptist, one of those meals that, we had at church. Always a protein bar and trail mix. He's the healthy one. In hot sauce. Now, I like the mustard sardines and the hot sauce sardines. I'll eat all of them, but those are the two I like. Head cheese, sauce, and crackers. Bottom line outdoors. Ugh, I've eaten all that. Biscuit and gravy is what I want now. Hardee's Monster Biscuit is my go-to breakfast. Okay. You guys are just throwing in the breakfast stuff now. I started bringing fresh fruit and flank steak on the boat some. Good combo. No wonder you're worried about getting a chub when you daggum go under. I mean, you just ain't right, dude. Not healthy, just lazy. There you go. He said he got some snacks. He legitimately had hot food. I like blue cheese stuffed olives. I like to, at Quick Trip, if you go into Quick Trip and you look in the little section where they've got the breakfast tacos and stuff, at the very bottom, they do this jalapeno and cheese sausage wrapped in some kind of bread. All right. It's not a typical weenie wrap like we all grew up with and all that, but it's some kind of bread with like, I don't know what it is. I love those things. Mouth's watered. And I will tell you this, if I fish on Lanier, in the winter, I'm going to bring chili in a thermos on the boat. Usually just Michelob Ultra Cactus. Far Dog said, there you go. Now you're talking a little bit better. Ananas makes a great snack, or bananas. Is that what you're trying to say? And you left off the B? Quick Trip has got a great grilled cheese. Hard to beat a good mom and pop gas station sausage egg biscuit. Honey mustard pretzel pieces are a great boat snack as well. If y'all knew how my mouth was watering, we're talking about all this food now. I will tell you this. So if I fish Lake Lanier, I do have a tradition. And it is my own little thing. But after every tournament I fish on Lake Lanier, I'm going back through Dawsonville. I stop by the Arby's, and I get me 2 beef and cheddars, a large thing of the jalapeno cheese, stuffed jalapenos, the cheese things, and a Pepsi Zero. And I get a boatload of that horsey sauce. That is my after Lake Lanier fishing thing. Do it every single time. Never fails. When do you guys start throwing a scrounger head? I throw one year round. I'm a little different. In winter, I used a heated lunchbox thing and eat beef stew on the boat. You guys are bougie, dude. Pepsi Zero cancels it out. That's what I'm thinking. Like, I could eat all that stuff, and as long as I don't drink my calories, I'm all right. That's what a lot of people think. I just, before COVID, the first round of COVID, I hated any diet drink out there. To this day, I still can't smell. My taste buds changed a little bit. I absolutely love Coke Zero and Pepsi Zero. I like Pepsi Zero a little bit better because I think it actually tastes closer to the original than Coke Zero does to it. But I can drink both. Gas station deep fried taquitos and tater logs on the way home from the lake. We need to start making fast food parking lots boat accessible. All I drink is the Zero stuff now. Yeah, I mean, and I like it. Oh, Trump does drink that stuff. I heard he drinks like 12 Diet Cokes a day. But I like the Zero stuff better. Study said the other day, people consuming more crappy corn syrup soft drinks than ever before. Sure. I also saw a study that said if you drink the Zero stuff like I do, it increases your risk for diabetes by 30% over if you drank the real stuff. Then again, you got to look at who put out the poll or who put out the study. I'm with you on the Zero sugar drinks. Yeah, I mean, yeah, make sure I read that right. Now, Coleman says he enjoys beef Wellington with au jus sauce and a side of steamed asparagus on the boat. Dude, I don't know how your fiance puts up with you, man. But they said if you drink the diet stuff, your risk of diabetes is higher. And the reason they said it was because it messes with your gut biome. Like, I don't know. Coleman, pain meds are for after the surgery. Doc Holliday said, yeah, Coleman's getting a head start, I think. He's getting a head start. Coleman is having full course meals. Well, then listen, here's the problem is I don't want him coming on here and bitching about not catching fish. We know why he's not catching fish. He's cooking. All right, he's cooking. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like beef Wellington. I ain't too crazy about steamed asparagus, but if that's all you got, I'll eat it. Makes your pee stink. But that's why Coleman's asking all these questions about how to catch stuff, because really when he's on there, he's busy eating. He's preparing the meal. I get it. But back to the question, when do you guys start throwing the scrounger head? I'm one that throws it year round. I know some guys throw it more in the it depends on the guy. See, I know some guys that will only throw them in the summer deep. I know some guys will only throw them in the winter deep. And then I got no guys like me that just go year round with it. I do know a guy that welded a grill on his pontoon. He was offering me a hamburger on the lake one day. For sure. Apparently the diet drinks can also cause early dementia. That's why I mess up every once in a while. I'll eat anything on a boat as long as I can get a white folded napkin and lit candles. That's it. Exactly. It's cheap for soda manufacturers with all this cheap surplus field corn. We're getting poisoned threefold from fertilizers, pesticides, and then the corn syrup. I agree with you, but I'm like, I'm going out with a bang. When the big guy upstairs wants me, he's gonna get me. But I'm going out happy. Okay, and kicking and screaming. Like, I love you, Lord, but I don't want to go home just yet. I'm a big proponent of having 2 cans of Skull Wintergreen Fine Cut as well, eatings for the fish. You know what? That is one thing that I will say, and whether it's a good habit or not, you can agree to disagree. But during a bass tournament, I am a 2 can a day guy. And I will have 1 can of Long Cut Copenhagen, and I will have 1 can, come on, I'm trying to get TikTok back on here. And I will have 1 can of Wintergreen. And I will stay with one as long as I'm catching fish. If I go a while without catching fish, I will switch to the other flavor. I'll do that for sure. And, maybe it makes no sense to a lot of people, but it's just, I don't have a lot of superstitions on the boat because generally I ain't catching fish anyway. But that is one thing. Pepsi Zero cancels it out. Oh, let's see. All I drink zero. Okay, I'm trying to catch up. All right. They popped up some older comments right there when I reset it. So corn syrup messes me up. Corn probably be $3 this year. Far Dog, you got to have that backup for sure. Looks like we way overproduced on the corn there. Well, okay. Cam says I generally smoke it, but I like to get a can of Coke before fishing trips to keep my hands free for fishing. I get it. But I switch off. Like if I'm not getting a bite, I'm like, time for wintergreen. And then wintergreen until I get a bite or don't get a bite. And I'll be like, And then, now this is the only thing I do. Like, and then if I'm not getting a bite on either one of those, then the next time I change, I'll put it in my upper lip. Must be an upper lip day. Upper lip right, upper lip left. And then by the end of the day, when I ain't caught no fish, I'm just like, I tried everything. I tried it all. I don't know what kind of superstitions you got. I know I'm not eating the stuff that you guys take. And if I'm being honest, generally I don't eat. I really generally won't eat. I might eat breakfast at the Quick Trip every so often, but most of the time I don't eat because, man, I'm Adderalled out. Long cut and upper lip. Yeah, sure. Didn't guys used to dip spit to scent their baits? Some might. I don't know. I never did. I do know that it does work on the bee sting. I quit smoking last year and switched to Zins. I do Zins every once in a while. Problem is, I like the taste of it. Like, I really do like the taste. Did you guys know that Copenhagen was actually smoked like barbecue? They actually take the tobacco and smoke it. I did not know that till earlier this year. I smoked 3 packs during the tournament. That's because we're all really we're geeked up. In other news, Frosted Flakes is now made again with 4 ingredients. Go Tony the Tiger. You're going to see a lot of companies going back to that because of public outcry. It isn't just the food colorings and all that. I don't know how the hell we talk about the stuff we do when we get together at lunch, but now we're on food. But I do know that a lot, it started with the food coloring, and you're going to see them going back to the basic stuff, which they should. When I am called by the big guy, I want Norman Greenbaum playing. Oh, my Lord. Yeah. He's going to get you when he wants you. I'm a firm believer in that. Because sometimes I see people, I'll tell you, my dad, bless Mark, my dad smoked a lot. When he was 40, he quit. Cold turkey. Boom. Started walking every day, ate right, did all the right things, still passed away at 59. I'm telling you, if this boy gets to 60, we're going to throw a party. My 4-year-old granddaughter asked for the dip tobacco for her bee stings. Yeah, I mean, that it does pull it out. Maybe it's old wives' tale, but it seems like it works to me. Fishing keeps cigs out of my hands unless skeeters and pecker gnats everywhere. Good Lord. I need to get my dad to stop smoking. I did it one time and she remembered. I did that to my daughter at a softball game. I was at a softball game playing it. She got stung. Wife called me over there out of the dugout, and that was back when I actually chewed Red Man. So, see, we have been all over the place today. Like, I don't even remember where we started. I talked about you guys being good people and having a great positive impact on everybody. Then we talked about forward-facing sonar, food on boats, backer. I'm just telling you, we are all over the place today. We are talking like I like to make love. Just all over the place and out of control. And you guys know that's a lie. I only said that in case my wife watches. That'd be another one of those. I can't believe you said that in front of everybody. Well, it's a bunch of guys, baby. You should have told them about Jesus. She'll say it. I know it. When my brother passed, he had his wife play Black Betty. That was the name he gave his Harley. Well, did Kenny Rogers hit Dolly Parton low? I'm just playing don't. Okay. I've already told my family that I want Van Halen playing at my funeral. I honestly told my kids, and I got to put it down in a will. That's another. I got to update my will. I don't want no sad songs. I already got my songs. And if you guys come to my funeral, I want you guys to have a great time. Danny, we all have ADHD apparently. Savor the moment. I'm all over the place, and I take medicine for it, man. You should try the Grizzly Spit-Free Wintergreen. A little bit of the long cut flavor without a spit bottle. Captain, let me tell you this. Like, I'm going to get in trouble again. I dip in church. I don't think Jesus cares. But I do. But what I'll do is I'll go buy the Copenhagen pouches because this dries all get-go, and I don't have to spit. And so I'll just put a little pouch in there, little Baileys in my coffee, sit on the second row and enjoy life and loving it. And just look at my wife giving me the side eye the entire time. I do. It is. I know a lot of them people, there's going to be people out there just in my message box saying, you ought not do that. Right? Listen, when I go, I'm the same Sunday morning as I am Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Off topic, but I think you guys would find it interesting. I'm welding rod holders onto my motorcycle backrest today for my Helen trip. You're seriously welding rod holders onto your motorcycle. That's a first. That's a first. I throw my opioids in the trash. Good grief. Doug Rice, if I leave my dip in the truck, I will turn the boat around and go back and get it. Can't fish without it. Yeah, y'all saw Slick's video with Jordan Lee come flying across the lake because he was at his ends. I get it. Tyler says, I'm shocked she don't slap you for the Baileys in church. Well, she don't want to cause a scene. I get it in there before she knows. Just a little. It's just a little. It's almost like putting creamer in there. $50 every year, 3 years chronic pain. I don't know what that's about. Talk about dedication. Justin Ortiz. You talking about me or you talking about him with the yeah, I mean, if you're welding rod holders onto your motorcycle, yeah, for sure. Let's see. If people can't understand a group of guys talking about random stuff, they are the problem. We get random on here. Could you imagine, though, somebody for the first time, like on TikTok, just pulls up and they come in mid, kind of mid whatever a topic is, and it's not about fishing? I'm sure there are some eyeballs getting rolled. Like, what are they doing? Bailey's makes that Sunday dinner better. I like Bailey's. To throw those oids in the trash is a sin. Good grief, Far Dog said. Listen at you guys. But, yeah, I mean, listen. It's not very strong stuff. I just like the taste of it. But my wife, she will go, I could smell that on your breath. And that's what I say to her. So, I mean, between the Copenhagen and that, it probably don't smell too good. So anyway, man, I love you guys. I absolutely love you guys. You guys make my day when we get on here and we just absolutely BS about stuff. That's what somebody was saying. We were talking about this show and they're like, John did. We were talking about yesterday. John said, it's the same. It's the same as if you guys were here in the shop. We would be talking exactly the same if you guys were in the shop. Danny, the good Lord might not call you home, but your wife will. Yeah, I know, right? I got you, Dead Rabbit. We're following you now, dude. We're following you now. I'm glad you put that in there because I had no idea what you were talking about. My phone played through my TV earlier. My wife was concerned because I picked up when you were saying, I'm not shaving there again. Oh, yeah, listen, I get that from a lot of guys come in and like, my wife walked in about halfway through a comment, and it's always us. My wife will not listen to this show, or watch this show at all. Because first of all, she don't care about fishing. And second of all, she hears me talk all the time anyway. So why watch me talk? Unless we start talking about the female anatomy, things we used to do that we shouldn't tell anybody that we did. You guys know the stories I'm talking about. She has that iron dome that we talk about when I'm like, I'm wanting to reach across the bed and have a little loving and I get shot down. She also has another instinct, something paranormal, psychic, whatever the hell it is, ESP, whatever they call it, that if I'm about to say so-and-so has big boobs, she's like 10 seconds before it every time. Boom. She clicks on. I don't know what it is. And I get caught all the time. Back at Jesus Drank Wine, I doubt backer juice bothers him much. Thens can't be any worse than the Red Hot addiction I've gotten into lately. I love Red Hots, but I like it when it's cold, Christmas time. Atlanta Outdoors, I had to read your comment really quick before I read it. What's up, Thad? I see you out there. This is his comment. Like, we're going through all this stuff, and out of the blue, Atlanta Outdoors goes, I'm hairy. I said it was about your chest and looking 13. She said I'd feel the same way. So we were talking again. So that's another thing we talked about was G-Man's shaving his body. My wife made fun of me. Have you checked the shop for bugs she planted? Dude, she just knows. Like, she knows. We've been together so long, and like, I'll walk in the house, like, she's really listening every once in a while. So what happens is I can tell the mood of my wife just the second I see her. I mean, we've been together 30-something years. And I'll have a great day here at the shop, and we might have one of them podcasts, and I might have said something like that. Or when Big Al comes on, and we talk about the hot 80s, woman of the 80s. And I walk in the door, and she's sitting on the couch. And I get a side eye. And I'm like, shit, she listened. Every time. If I was talking about all the nice things I'd done in charity work and all this stuff, and you guys were saying the same thing, and we were all kumbaya and all this stuff, she wouldn't listen. But Lord knows, when you guys make a comment about Hannah Barron and I read it, boom. The Iron Dome also has the technology to pick up on those things. You think that's it? It's not even a side eye. It's the way she's sitting on the couch. See, that's another thing. Like, every one of you guys know exactly what the hell I'm talking about. You guys know what I'm talking about. It is the uncanny ability of your woman. Now, listen, James, y'all. James Ramsey put this, not me. The Iron Fist is a good deterrent for the Iron Dome. You're like, dude, like, I know you were joking. Men can't be men. I get it every day. My wife just laughs and says, keep your thoughts to yourself. No doubt. But women just have this uncanny ability. I don't know what it is that they know. They just know. And I don't know. Justin Ortiz says, same boat, different waters. Yeah, all right. I'm well behaved to avoid the Iron Dome shooting me down. Hey, listen, it's coming, dude. Oh, yeah, it's coming. Listen. It's just as much a physical thing as it is an emotional, mental thing. Yeah, but when you get the cast iron or the iron bars, that's if you do that. Yeah, what Jeremy said. Women have the ability, man. They can read you. And they know. It's like they know your thoughts. It's like they know, which my wife knows how I am anyway. She knows how I am. And my son, he don't like fishing. But he loves me. And every once in a while, he'll watch or he'll listen to this lunch break when he's at work and he's driving and all that. And he'll say that he doesn't like it when we talk fishing. He goes, but the rest of that stuff y'all talk about is funny as shit. And I'm like, yeah, we have a good time with it. They come with those just like the Garmin comes with the bite button. Yeah, how many of you guys went and ordered your big bite button from Garmin? I really was hoping to get a call. Yo, LTS fishing over there. I really was hoping to get a call from Garmin saying like a cease and desist order to quit telling you guys to order the Garmin Big Bite button. I really wanted that to happen, but you guys let me down. I don't think enough of you guys contacted Garmin. You ask her what's wrong and you get that very blunt nothing. Nothing means everything. It's even better when they come in and your fishing stuff is covering the kitchen table. Oh, yeah, for sure. My buddy is in the doghouse. His wife found his OnlyFans subscriptions. So it could be worse. Yeah. I don't have one of those. And I'm telling you, it wouldn't matter how hard I tried to hide it. If I did, my wife would find it. That's a tough one. I mean, what do you do there? What do you say? You think men and women you think men were and are being feminized ever since the civil rights? I don't know. I don't know about that, but I know there's a lot more feminine ones than there used to be. How about that? That's about the way to say it. So you can draw your own conclusions from that. I got to be careful. I don't want TikTok to ban me. That might be his fault for subscribing to OnlyFans. Sure. Yeah. Listen, what's that one girl? I saw it on social media. She's making more than LeBron. Whew. Wish they had a forward-facing sonar for women's thoughts. That's something that, you know what? That's something that we could all use. Or I don't know. I don't know if I would want, you know what? I don't know that I would want to know what my wife is thinking. They even know what you're thinking. Yeah, but they can know what I'm thinking, but I don't know that I would want to know, honestly, what my wife is thinking. It could hurt your feelings. Hey, man, I've seen you occupying a live Ping Live Mini. I have the Garmin Mini. I don't know. Instead of a Garmin, I have not seen it. I'll have to check it out. Yeah, that woman is pissed. You'd constantly have to update it if it was a forward-facing sonar for women's thoughts. I'm trying to figure out how to tell my wife her feet pics on OnlyFans have been buying my fishing gear. Oh, my Lord. He saved all his logins in his iPhone notes. He had a list of other sites, too. Oh, he's a dumbass. I mean, seriously. Yeah, that's a brain I don't want to see. That man was shopping for that stuff, considering all the free stuff out there. Oh, good Lord, you guys out there. Seriously. Listen, have you ever thought, and we'll end on this. We'll talk about this for a second, but have you ever honestly thought what it would be like if you could read your wife's mind, your girlfriend's mind? And honestly, how many times a day would it hurt your feelings? Especially, what about during those intimate moments? Think about that. You're there, you're thinking you're rocking the world, and she's thinking about a grocery list. You don't want to know that. I'd rather live in the unknown. You don't want to know that. You don't want to know what she's thinking, because it'll hurt your feelings. They'd kill us if they could read our minds. Well, think about if you could read theirs. We'd end up in a rubber room. We'd get in the crazy. If we could read a woman's mind, we would. Or someone else. Yeah, like seriously, like you don't, like I could see this, like, my gosh, I ain't got all day. And you guys know, I like being in the dark. I'll keep it that way. Now, Atlanta Outdoors has a very valid point right here. At least you'd be able to pick where to eat quicker. 100%. 100%. That is like the most truthful thing out there. I know I ain't going to read that. How you guys can read James Ramsey's comment. Ignorance is bliss. Yeah. It's like knowing the day you die will only hurt your feelings for sure. Blissfully ignorant to most of her thoughts of me throughout the day. That's the way it should be. Some things are best left unknown. Ejectocito, cuz. Yeah, you don't want to know. Because you're going to crash and burn. Because, I mean, don't us guys, like, we think a lot of ourselves sometimes. You know what I'm saying? We think a lot of ourselves. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. She's over there like, Kroger's got green beans on sale, 2 for 99 cents. I'm telling you, it probably happens more often than it doesn't like that. Or I can see it in my wife's face every once in a while, just sitting across the couch for me, and I try to look at her with some googly eyes, and she's going, I can't believe I married him. I just can't believe I actually married that. I know it happens. And she loves me. I really, truly believe she loves me. No, that comment was fine. I didn't want to read it because of TikTok. I don't care what she's thinking. I want to know what she's spending. There you go. That's another thing. And then you would know. You would know. Gonna get a slice of humble pie would hurt our ego for sure. It would. Fearfully, if I could read her mind, there might be a lot fewer of those intimate moments. Yeah, it might be. That is true. Or there could be more. You would know what to do. See, we would be able to decode the female brain. Like, it's not the ocean, it's not space. Those are not the final frontiers. It's the female brain. Always a fun time listening. Got to get back to work. I'll be here for the next one. We'll see you tomorrow, dude. If I knew what my wife was thinking about, I'd probably have a stroke. That's what I'm saying. The female brain, the female mind is the last great frontier out there for us to discover. We could decode the Iron Dome, but that's never going to happen because it's probably got a firewall as thick as from here to China on it. And it would take probably alien technology to break that firewall. Yeah, but the more you do, the more you know, the more she'll want done, for sure. That's it too. You think the stank eye is nasty. I've had it many times. You only think you want to know what your wife is thinking. I promise you, I don't. Because it's on her face most of the time. I don't have to think about it. I know what she's thinking. No, the female brain will never be understood. It's like figuring fish out, but worse. No doubt. And then listen, we love them. Can't live without them. Can't live without them. We love them. But it is the final frontier. You guys thinking about, what's the next great scientific advancement? They will pale in comparison to the guy in some lab somewhere that figures out how to read the female brain. And it might scare the hell out of him, and we might never get that information. It might be something that's too scary the world doesn't need to know. You think the government is hiding stuff from you now? The CIA probably already knows. The CIA probably has it already. And what they're doing is they're trying to develop a weapon system around it. They're not going to do it for the betterment of us, letting us know. They know that would be the most dangerous information a man could have. I'm telling you. Bass eating habits are the same as asking your wife where she wants to eat. That's the worst. Because she'll look at me. She'll go, what do you want? I don't know. What do you want? Because I tell her the same thing. I say, I eat everything. What do you want? And then I just make a decision. And then I'll go, all right, I want sushi. No, I don't eat sushi. Well, why in the hell did you ask me to make a decision? Just give me the ability to see exactly where that internal button is with ease. And I know exactly what internal button you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. Ain't no telling, like, how many guys' wives might be listening to this just slapping their foreheads and like, I thought that Danny was a nice guy. Well, we're just trying to figure things out. We're a community of like-minded men here. We suffer together. We learn together. We grow together. We definitely suffer together. I'm saying that. All right, listen, guys, I've had a hell of a time. With you guys today. This has been a fun one. I started asking what style of food she wants, and that helped. Listen, my wife just tells me, I will say this. I can order my wife's, one more thing before I go. I can go to any restaurant out there, and I can order for my wife without even her looking at a menu. Because she gets the same damn thing every single time she goes to restaurant A. She'll get the same dang thing every time she goes to restaurant B, restaurant C, and so on and so forth. We go to Waffle House, she's getting an all-star with 2 pancakes, bacon, extra crispy, egg scrambled with cheese, white bread. Boom. We go to Longhorns, she's getting a 6-ounce Flo's filet, butterflied, well done, loaded baked potato. Water. Her Starbucks order is that strawberry acai or whatever that is, that pink damn lemonade drink that they have at Starbucks. I'm telling you, I know my wife like the back of my hand. If she was here right now, she'd go, yep. She gets that Starbucks, that pink acai or whatever it is called stuff. And we will still look at the menu for 5 minutes. I finally got my girlfriend to eat a medium rare steak. You've done something that I have never done. My wife likes everything well done. We'll get the same flows. We'll order a same steak and we'll order a filet. And mine's going to come out, when you order it, it's that big. And when mine comes out, it's that big. Hers, it's like, because she gets it butterflied. And I mean, like, if you sewed fingers on the back, it'd be a catcher's mitt. Danny is salvaging right now, trying to get good looks from the couch when he gets home. No, she's not going to like me no more. My wife's Dunkin's better than Starbucks. I don't listen. I don't know. Anyway, I got to go to work. I got these ditch diggers. I got to get out and get in the mail today. Somebody asked about jigs. Yeah, I'll ship them to Texas. Just go online and order them. And they are made as they come in. So I do have a few guys in front of you. I'm trying to catch up. Butterflied. I've never heard of that either. Yeah, you have, like they do on backstrap. You ain't never had deer backstrap butterflied? So they take the medallion and they just kind of slice it, not all the way through, but about 3/4 of the way through so that it folds out. Sure, certainly you've heard of that, Carson, right? A catcher's mitt. Yeah, I know. Yeah, appreciate that. Proud of you, Danny. Should never have the Iron Dome. I shouldn't. It should, like, seriously, it should be free use, right? That ain't happening. I have converted my whole family to eat medium steaks, even the 6-year-old. My wife won't do it. And I can't convince her that red stuff is not blood. It's still bleeding. Like, honey, they drained that cow a long time ago. Thanks for the hang. Made my day better. I hope all you guys have a hell of a day. I hope this did make your day better. Made mine better. Now I got to go back to work. So anyway, tomorrow we'll do the lunch break again at 12. And then tomorrow night, I got the guests lined up yet. We'll figure it out. But we're going to talk about where do bass go in the fall. In the fall. No, I've never had deer like that. Just fried the backstrap or grilled the whole. Sounds good. What you do is you butterfly that backstrap. You take a jalapeno. You get the seeds out of a jalapeno. You fill it with cream cheese. You put it in the middle of that deer butterfly tenderloin. You fold it up, and then you take bacon and you wrap around that thing. Sprinkle a bunch of black pepper. Cook it to medium rare on the grill. And I'm telling you, you'll thank me later. Medium rare. Can't overdo that. Coleman's less scared of surgery now and all that. So the red stuff is good on the back of a tater. Yes, it is. So anyway, hey, listen, I love you guys. Appreciate you hanging with me for so long. Let me get long-winded. You guys really, seriously, what I said earlier, let's make sure we stay at positive. Invite your buddies to listen to this. Let's make it grow. Make it grow. If you ain't subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the channel and all that stuff. We're trying to get to 9,000 here. We're trying to get to 20,000 on TikTok and all that. So it takes every single one of you. Will braid work as well as bacon? I don't know. Try it. You got to try it. So you guys be good. I'm going to get rid of my YouTube guys over here first. Y'all have a great hell of a rest of your Wednesday, and I'll see you tomorrow. Be good. You guys are out.